You're listening to the Travis Makes Money podcast presented by GoHighLevel.com. For a free 30-day trial of the best all-in-one digital marketing software tool on the planet, just go to GoHighLevel.com/Travis. What's going on, money makers? Welcome back to the Travis Makes Money podcast, where it's our mission to help you make more money. If you're new to the show, we release brand new conversations with unconventional money makers every single day of the week. So if you haven't yet, please be sure to go subscribe, hit that follow button so you never miss an opportunity to learn how to make more money. Today, we are speaking with my new friend, Amanda Northcutt. Amanda is a 6-time executive with over 20 years of experience in building and optimizing recurring revenue businesses. She left her Silicon Valley executive role a few years ago and founded Level Up Creators, where Amanda and her team of experts help individual consultants and coaches build sustainable businesses with actually predictable income. Imagine that. Amanda and her team have built Level Up Creators to a multi-million-dollar run rate with no outside funding in just 18 months. Between the Level Up Creators podcast, her weekly newsletter, Level Up Creator School, consulting services, and her flagship program, the MRR Accelerator, Amanda and her team have made a habit of building machines into multi-5-figure MRR businesses. So, Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to join me on the show today.
Glad to be here, Travis. Thank you for having me.
I want to start with a quick softball question here. Tell me how you made your first dollar ever, and then tell me how you made your most recent dollar.
First dollar ever. Ooh, man, I was a hustler as a kid for sure. I was always really entrepreneurial. I would do chores, babysitting, house sitting, whatever would earn me money on the up and up was always a big deal. So, and I had my first like W-2 job at 14.
14?
Yeah.
Is that even legal?
It's legal right at 14. Yeah.
Good for you. So was that kind of innate in you, or did your parents kind of push you in that direction? Where do you think that came from?
No, I'm a very, very self-motivated person. I mean, I think it's like baked into my DNA for sure. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, and my grandmothers had like big time careers, even in the 40s and 50s. And wow. So back in the 1900s, if you have any younger folks listening. So yeah, it's just kind of like part of our family culture, but very much something deep inside of me for sure.
So how you made your most recent dollar?
We are making our dollars right now through our MRR Accelerator program. And so that's our main client list right now.
I love the focus here, Amanda. It's not often that you see somebody make the switch from the prestigious world of Silicon Valley startups to moving to like coaching, consulting, podcasting, stuff like that. What spurred that change for you?
Yeah, I actually started kind of in the creator economy before it was even called that. So I've been in online recurring revenue since 2005, back when it was like you were selling air almost. I mean, there's so much education around like what the hell you were selling, and is this real? And are you going to give me what you say you're going to give me, kind of a situation. And so I was the second employee at a collegiate fan website called texags.com, which is now the largest collegiate fan site in the world. And I really got thrown into the deep end there. I mean, I started working there when I was still a full-time student at Texas A&M University and learned everything there is to know at the time about recurring revenue and built a program and a model for, maximizing customer lifetime value and long-term customer relationships. And then I had a massive health crisis in my late 20s and had to leave that job. It was very, very difficult and humbling time in my life for sure. And I was making loads of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year at that time, because I was doing sales and working I was working commission only. And I went back to the drawing board. I was like, oh my gosh, medical bills are mounting up. This has gotten really real. We have a really young kiddo, and I need to make as much money as I was making in like 20 hours a week instead of about 80. And so I, had to consider how could I potentially repackage my expertise and take it to essentially the highest bidder. And so software as a service was very much on the rise in the early 2010s. And so I kind of jumped on that bandwagon and was fortunate to have already put about, 8-9 years of recurring revenue under my belt at that time.
Wow. Okay. So you were already thinking about, how do I make this transition? Big, obviously, moment happened that was completely outside of your control that kind of accelerated that process a little bit more. But this is what I love about the time that we live in right now, is that there was an opportunity for you to do exactly what you said. Because like when you said it, it's like, that seems so impossible. It seems so out of touch to be like, well, I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars in this job, which for most people is a W. It's like, that is the American dream right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why would I ever stop doing that?
Hmm.
And then you quickly realize that it was like, man, the amount of time it's taking me to do this, it's not really about the money at this point. It's about how do I design a lifestyle that enables me to be able to
Right.
maximize income, but also focus on my health, spend some time with my kid, like
Hmm.
actually live some life in the meantime.
Yeah.
And man, congrats to you for being able to jump over into a completely brand new field and make it work. The obsession on MRR for you, where did that come from?
I mean, that is the holy grail of revenue. And I mean, that came from TexAgs effectively. And I did a lot of consulting for other collegiate fan websites and other membership communities in the 2010s as well, just because
Okay.
I had made a name for myself in that space. And I realized that, man, these people are onto something compared to clients that I was helping who had one-time revenue, who were reinventing the wheel every time they had a new client, like, oh, yes, I can do that. Or they have shiny object syndrome and we'll just chase down whatever. So my journey has been kind of creator economy before it was called that. I got to have a lot of looks. I mean, I've consulted for dozens of businesses around the world, been an executive 6 times. And so I've been very fortunate to get a good look. And there's just no one, I think there's no business model where you could not earn recurring revenue, but there's no better way to run a business, especially if you're an individual who find yourself in a life situation where the 9 to 5 model or, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. model, as it were, doesn't work for you, whether it's because you have a health challenge, you have a kid, you're taking care of aging parents or a partner or whatever the hell's going on, right? And so you need to be able to identify, okay, what are the ingredients that I have and that I bring to the table, and whose painful, pervasive, urgent, expensive problems can I solve? Ideally, we would apply those solutions like in a B2B space. And so that's what I did. That's how I started to develop what we now call the MRR method, which is what we use at Level Up Creators to take consultants and coaches who are subject matter experts through this pretty incorrect. There's no like magic pill or silver bullet or anything like that. But it is a tried and true method to business building that creates sustainable multi 5 figure MRR.
Yeah, I love the focus on the MRR piece because it speaks to the need to create a product that actually solves a real problem. There's so much
Mhm.
of the coaching consulting space that is all about acquiring customers. It's all about the marketing. It's all about the sales. It's all about the conversion rate optimization. It's all about the funnels and the landing pages and the webinars. And then what happened, I think what we're seeing right now is a collapse of a lot of the industry because too many people were focused on some of these like front end metrics rather than back end metrics like retention and MRR. And
Right.
now, now that conversion rates are getting more difficult, now that ads are getting more expensive, now that affiliate traffic's getting more expensive, now that everything's getting more competitive on the front end, these people are freaking out because they can't acquire customers the same way that they were acquiring them. And then at the core, their product is just not good. They've built
Yeah.
something that is not worth continuing to pay for. So people exit as soon as they enter. And then but then they go back to work on marketing. They don't go back to work on the retention. It's so counterintuitive. So what are some of the different ways that you've looked at that have helped you increase the retention on the back end of your products and services? Because to have this type of run rate with zero outside funding in this short period of time for a recurring revenue subscription like community business is it's not easy. People like to think it's easy, but it's not.
No, it's not easy. I'm like the antithesis of icky marketers who are like, oh, we'll make 6 figures in 6 weeks or whatever. Like, this is no, business building is incredibly hard, and doing it the right way and doing it in a way such that you earn recurring revenue from your customers. Because in order to earn recurring revenue, you have to be giving out recurring value
Yeah.
over time, and you're solving problem after problem after problem after problem for a specific subset of the population, your corner of the internet, your ideal customer profile. And so we want to take a look at the customer journey as a whole. And I explain this a lot. I'll do it really quickly. But are you familiar with the concept of a bow tie funnel as opposed to a traditional marketing funnel?
No.
Okay, so for those who are watching, this will be easy. I'll use my hands, but if you're listening, stick with me. So traditional marketing funnel looks like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Top of funnel, minimum, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and then purchase. And people drop out of the funnel. That's why it gets squeezed down, and only a few people make it to the bottom. And in a traditional marketing funnel, it's like marketing sales job is done, right? When someone reaches the bottom of the funnel, whew, I can wash my hands of that. We're going to move on to the next one, just like you're talking about. But in a recurring revenue business, we're actually working on a bow tie funnel. And so we take that traditional V-shaped funnel, turn it 90 degrees. So picture if I'm wearing a bow tie, we've got tofu, mofu, bofu, first purchase. And then we have a product ladder over here on the right side. The entire right side of the bow tie funnel is the product ladder. And we want to make sure that we are giving ourselves the opportunity to earn recurring revenue from 2 to 3 products in our product ladder. Typically, there's some kind of an entry level, but with our clients who are expert coaches and consultants, usually solo or maybe have one VA, we actually want to go straight to like a high ticket, high touch, low volume program that earns MRR. Like you are helping create value outcomes and transformation, whatever your marketing, promises are, whatever your offer promises, and you are dripping out those solutions over time, at a pace and a way that is tenable to your specific client and situation. For us, our MRR accelerator earns MRR for us as we build MRR earning businesses for our clients in our 7-month accelerator. And then we have, of course, a back end offer. It's like a growth team retainer for these businesses that we build. So you got to think about long-term relationships, right? Like this is not transactional at all. Recurring revenue businesses require deep long-term relationships. And I love that because you can't game the system on the marketing front. You can't do the bullshit. You can't do the smoke and mirrors. You can't promise things that aren't true and expect it to work out. Like you're actually held accountable as a service provider. And I feel like that's the way that business actually should be. So it's a really beautiful system where incentives are actually aligned as opposed to, I got you, I sold something to you and peace out and good luck.
Yeah. The I got you. Yeah. That's that like alpha bro marketer who's just like loves talking about sales. And then all of a sudden, a year later, they're an expert in something else. This is the person that was, 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, they were a ads expert, and then they were a Forex trading expert, and then they were a crypto expert, then they were an NFT expert, and now they're an AI expert. It's like, you have to continue burning and turning offers because you have to continue tricking new people into believing that you're an expert at this new thing so you can get money, because the last thing was terrible and nobody actually got any results. And that's why the whole industry gets so much shade, from so many other people. Is like they point at it and go like, well, look at all those grifters. And it's like, okay, well, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It doesn't mean coaching isn't worth paying for. Like some of the best relationships I had, the best advice I've gotten, the best knowledge that I've gained, the best shortcuts I've ever gotten into my business in a short period of time has been from investing into great coaches. And like that should be there. You are solving a real problem, which is lack of information, lack of knowledge, and you're helping people figure those problems out. It's just that there's so many other people who come into these like low barrier to entry type fields, and then just build a bad reputation for the whole industry for everybody else.
Preach. Amen. Yes. Yeah. that one bad apple, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it also, it speaks to your Silicon Valley background. There's one of the big, quote unquote gurus that I follow that I actually think gives out good advice. One of the things that he said was, it was a tweet or something. He said, how to get ridiculously rich. Number one, learn marketing from internet marketers. Number two, forget everything else that they teach you. Number three, learn product from Silicon Valley's startup founders. And number four, apply number three to number one, or apply number one to number three. And I was like, that's so good. Like, it's not to say that you can't, that marketing is not something that you should master. You should learn how to market. You should learn conversion rate optimization. You should learn ads and funnels, and you should learn writing good copy and emails and all these other things. That's great. Do those things. I'm not telling people to not do that. But forget everything else that they teach you and then learn how to build good product, because at the end of the day, if you build good product, the marketing is so much easier. It's so much easier to make $1 back on $1 spent when you know that your lifetime value is going to far exceed the acquisition of that customer, because you've built such a good product engine that's going to continuously deliver value to this person. And they're never going to want to leave, and not never going to want to leave because their hands are tied, or not never going to want to leave because the subscription is so low, they don't even recognize it on their bill. So you could just keep billing them and they don't even, you know what I mean? It's like, no. They want to stick around because they are continuously getting getting value from you. Like
Mhm.
that is an actual business, a defensible business model that you could actually potentially sell to somebody. It's you're building an asset that has actual cash flow that shoves off money, and somebody's going to be interested in potentially acquiring that. And if they're not, who cares? Because you built a really great business that profits you more than what you're getting paid at your full-time job, killing yourself 80 hours a week.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I love it. Keep your house in order, right? Like the
Yeah.
product, right? The core product. Don't forget about your core product. And then, I mean, businesses that we're building for people, again, high ticket, high touch, low volume, those suckers are built on referrals and
Mm.
expansion revenue. And so, yeah, your reputation is your currency, right? Your word is like, if you don't want to keep going from industry to industry to industry, to your point earlier, um, do a good job, do good work, and that will get recognized. And business building is, again, is hard AF. It is really, really difficult work, and it is not for the faint of heart. And there's no such thing as an overnight success. Like I may seem like an overnight success at this point. I did build a multi-million-dollar company in 18 months. And I have 22 years of experience, have been through like this unbelievable health crisis, and that follows me still in my life today. And my best friend had me go through this fun exercise. We were in Mexico for her birthday a couple of months ago, and I was like, I can't believe this. Like it's happening. You know, it's happening. And she was like, Amanda, I can believe it. How many times have you tried? How many times have you tried to either, you know, acquire and run a business, or turn down a CEO job, or, you know, something you started that didn't work out? This is my 15th try in 22 years to like knock one out of the park and really, really crush it. So this has cost me, you know, my husband and I invested several $100,000 of our own savings. I gained like 20 pounds getting this business up and off the ground. This has cost me sleep. This has set my health back a little bit. Been missing time with my son, who's now, you know, an early teenager. The cost is high. Again, not for the faint of heart, extremely doable. There is a formula. Like, my God, if the accelerator that we're running had existed when I started my business, I would have done that in a heartbeat. But it's like now we got the model really nailed. And so I'm glad that we're able to use our experience to help other people. That's what this is really all about. And my business is not successful unless our clients are successful, period.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. There's almost never such a thing as an overnight success.
That's right.
The only reason that you think that there is because they're so rare that they blow up and get put in front of your face every day because of how rare they are. That's the only reason that you're familiar with them. That's the only reason you know about these people who like literally were overnight, where it was they had this crazy moment of virality or something, and
Yeah.
it blew them up overnight. And it was literally just a matter of luck. But what are you going to optimize your life for? Potentially, hopefully, cross my fingers, win the lottery, get lucky, or like building into a duplicatable, repeatable formula that actually works and has worked for like dozens, hundreds, or thousands of other people. Like the logic doesn't follow if you're gonna try to just like cross your fingers and hope you get lucky. It's like, well, you may as well just not enter the game, because I can tell you what the results are going to be. You know, it's like if it's just the
Mm-hmm.
same thing as buying a lottery ticket. It's like you may as well not buy it, because I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're not going to win. You know what I mean? Like go to
Shocker.
work. You know what I mean? Like go build something that's actually worth having. Is this something that you think anybody can do in 2025, Amanda?
No, no, I don't think it's what something anybody do. I mean, our clients have expertise, 10 to 15 years at least. I mean, we work with 40 to 60-year-olds for sure who are looking for to leverage their expertise, package it up in a way that we can make like a B2B recurring revenue offer, and who want some sort of lifestyle considerations. Like, we're trying to break away from our corporate careers and have a different, you know, last 15 or so, 10, 15 years of our career. Our clients have growth mindsets, believe in themselves, mindset issues for sure. Everybody does, like, have imposter syndrome, and putting
Sure.
yourself out there when you've been behind a corporate logo is really, really difficult, and requires a lot. It requires dedication, grit, and resilience for sure. So, again, business building, very, very doable. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's a sleazy way and there's a way to do it with integrity, right? And so we want to be on the up and up with that. But no, it's hard as shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your willingness to spend some time with us today. I apologize for being late. For everybody listening, I was like 5 or 10 minutes late to this one from my previous interview running a little bit longer. So I apologize to everybody for who is listening for not getting enough time with Amanda today. But maybe we can schedule a part two to this and get into some more nitty gritty on how to build more defensible MRR inside of your business
Mm.
specifically, because I think that's like you said, a business should not exist without the potential for MRR, regardless if it's an online consulting business or a plumbing company. You need
Yeah.
to build recurring revenue inside of the business. So I love what you're doing. I love the concept and looking forward to this conversation for a little while. If you're listening, go check out the Level Up Creators podcast, where Amanda shares content just like this. She also has a weekly newsletter. She's putting out a ton of free content. So if you're listening, you're like, man, I don't have a big budget right now. No worries. Go follow Amanda, check out the content she's putting out, consume that for as long as you're willing to do the stuff for free. And you'll find that people like Amanda will deliver so much stuff to you for free that eventually you're going to be like, man, I wonder what she's going to do if I pay her some money. So, Amanda, thanks so much for taking the time to come on the show. The Level Up Creators podcast, go check it out. The MRR Accelerator, if there's something you're interested in, do not sit on this. Go book a call with their team. Go chat with Amanda. I'm sure you will not regret that. Amanda, thank you for doing this. Everybody else listening, remember, money only solves your money problems, but it's a little bit easier to solve the rest of your problems if you got some money in the bank. So let's solve that problem first here on the Travis Makes Money podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.